So when I first started learning Japanese at the academic level, I was taken aback, unsurprisingly, at how different two different languages could be from one another, whether it was from pronunciation, grammatical structure, semantics, or anything else. That kind of cultural enlightenment right there is something that I believe I'll keep with me forever as a common and valid backing to encouraging someone who wants to learn a new language. However, at that same time when I was realizing the discrepancies between the English language and the Japanese language, I think something that was equally, if not more so, surprising was how similar they could be. I don't know, it was just kind of romantic that you would have these two civilizations basically thousands of miles apart, separated by land and sea, and they both constructed their own languages, and somehow some things were constructed to be used in the same way in both their connotations and their denotative diction. So basically what I'm saying is that they created things that not only meant exactly the same thing, but were used to mean the same thing, imply the same kind of meaning. And I'm not saying that this was like some kind of life-changing moment where I decided that I would want to be a translator or interpreter for the Japanese language to English or anything like that. It was just a feel-good discovery for a young scholar, basically. And so while not exactly career-defining, I think that it at least merits a video on a YouTube channel. So what we're going to do in this little mini video series is we are going to analyze, break down, whatever you want to call it, direct translations between the English and the Japanese language. So these will just be phrases or terms that mean exactly the same way that they mean in both English and Japanese, and they're pretty much used the same way too, emotionally speaking. You'll say it when you want to imply this or suggest this or do this. And yeah, for our direct translation between English and Japanese today, we have the phrasing "yatta na" to mean now you've done it, or you've done it now, haven't you? So of course, not only does this mean the same thing in both Japanese and English, but it's pretty much used for the same reasons too. Perhaps when someone does something to you that you consider to have crossed the line, so you say, now you've done it. Or maybe they don't even have to do it to you, they could have just done something that was really bad that is going to be punished, and you go, now you've done it, haven't you? Maybe they broke something, or they lost something, or something else. So let's look at the Japanese phrasing of this and break it down word by word, even though it technically is just a one-word sentence with a sentence-ending particle in it. This statement is going to consist of the verb yaru, which is in this case just simply going to mean to do, which is fine because in our English equivalent of this phrase we use that same verb, to do, now you've done it. This verb yaru is going to be conjugated into what we call the ta form, which is kind of the plain past tense form. So it's expressing something that happened in the past, which is again what we want, because now you've done it is expressing that you have already done something in the past. The fact that it's the plain past form too, as opposed to polite past form, which would have been yarimashita, is also pretty fitting, because when we say now you've done it, you're not really being polite to someone, you're almost kind of taking a superior stance and a kind of looking down on tone, or like chastising them. Now you've done it, haven't you? Especially if they've done this action towards you that has crossed the line. Lastly, in this statement, we have the sentence ending particle na, which is just going to add this kind of slight effect of being a rhetorical question, which is again going to be perfectly in line with the English equivalent of this phrase, now you've done it, which can also sometimes be said as you've done it now, haven't you? And that haven't you is of course doing that exact same thing. It's kind of asking this rhetorical question. And so that's three right there, our 3 points: the verb to do, the past tense, and the rhetorical question, and the kind of casualness to the phrasing to kind of express that you're kind of belittling someone. Yatta na is going to translate to the English equivalent, now you've done it, or you've done it now, haven't you? And we're going to be using that when someone does something that has kind of crossed the line, or is going to kind of invoke severe punishment or something along those lines. So there you go. Hopefully you won't find any cases in real life to be using this phrase to someone, and hopefully you won't be on the receiving end of it, because then that'll mean that you've done something that's pretty bad. Regardless, this is good to know that this is kind of a common phrasing, so do with it what you will. We have a lot more direct translations between English and Japanese to cover, so look forward to that and tune in next time. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoyed your time doing so. If you'd like to express that, you can like the video, leave a comment below, or subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like to support more of these video lessons or support more of these video lessons being created more often, or support more types of videos, please do consider checking out our Patreon page and consider becoming a patron there. Also included on the screen right now are of course a bunch of links on where to find and follow us elsewhere online, including our official website. And lastly, check out our Discord server. We've got a community of hundreds of people learning Japanese just there, so if you're looking for somebody to voice chat with just to practice speaking Japanese, or you have a quick question that needs a quick answer, or if you just want to talk about anime or music or manga or other Japanese things, learn Japanese.becauseofdreams.com/discord. And with that, see you next time.